Thank you very much, Candice McKechnie. Now let's go back to Sandton at the JSE, where activists against gender-based violence are now handing over a memorandum of demands to big business.
But the fight against GDP does not just start at the end of the road. That there's work that needs to be done beyond this point. And unfortunately, there are certain South African like me that prioritizes support and response versus preventing gender-based violence. And we are saying today, as our Honorable President Cyril Ramaphosa has said on numerous occasions, that there's no money to fund the fight against GDP. Dear President, today the women of South Africa and all our allies are showing you where the money is. Yeah. Who are doing the job we should be doing of holding the private sector accountable. It is the women of South Africa who are also saying that this government continues to fail us. It is the women of South Africa who are also saying that death cannot be our portion anymore. It is the women of this country that are saying we are tired of walking with a red target on our foreheads.
Okay.
And so when we convene today, we want to leave here tangible concessions. We are not interested in the very nice, pre-written, pre-recorded speeches. We are interested in real, tangible solutions. And we are saying, JSE, so without further ado, I would like to introduce a woman who's held us for many, many weeks, whose name probably will not find expression in the history books, but today we will forcefully write her in our history books. Comrades, Aritsu Singh, Leadership Peruna, Mandisa Kanyile, the woman who has organized and continues to organize around the work of gender-based violence and femicide. Mandisa?
Right? But before we do, I'd like us to just remember the women and gender non-conforming people and children that we've lost. Come here. Okay. Is it better now? Our equipment is failing us. There we go. I'd like us to remember the bodies of all those that are not here with us today. The women and gender non-conforming people that we've lost to the scourge of gender-based violence. The children that we lose every day. All of those women who walk around with the scars of being violated. Can we remember them in this moment of silence? Can we just observe a moment of silence for the people that we've lost?
Should I pull out? Should I pull out?
memorandum as I thought, but about the journey that has actually brought us here. If you remember, on the 1st of August last year, we marched to the Union buildings. We marched to the Supreme Court of Appeals. We marched to Parliament. We marched to every single police station in this country, in every province. And we said, no means no. Enough is enough. Under the banner of the total shutdown movement. We submitted 24 demands to the government. Those demands outlined to actually help fight the scourge of gender-based violence. Many of those demands are extremely low-hanging fruits. And as a result, we do not understand why, over 365 days later, we have not seen any of those demands being fully achieved. Yes, there is an interim structure for gender-based violence. Yes, there is a process for the National Strategic Plan Against Gender-Based Violence. Yes, some Tutuzela centers have been actually funded. But the reality is, something as low-hanging as an automated registry for protection orders has not even moved an inch. Something that a developer could do in 2 days that could protect the women of this country could not even be moved forward. There are so many of those demands that have not been met. And government keeps telling us that the issue is money, that they have no resources, that the Minister of Finance is not giving them any money to be able to make this work. So we said, okay, government, we hear you. You claiming to be broke. But there's a very nice place that is called the richest square mile in Africa, where there's a lot of money. So let's go to that place and see if they can give us some money to help fund the fight against gender-based violence. And so that's what brings us here today. Not only are we here to get money, but over and above being here to get money, we want corporate South Africa to actually take some kind of accountability as a citizen of this country too. Over 50% of this country's population is women. And they don't see us. We are invisible to them. They don't allow us to occupy their boardrooms. They allow toxic masculinity to run rampant here. Sexual harassment cases are not taken seriously. Women are still not paid the same as men. And we want it to end. Our bodies are not your crime scenes, corporate South Africa. Our bodies will never be your crime scenes, corporate South Africa. Take your role and play your part. You are not exempt from the scourge. It affects each and every single one of us. And so because we have the money to fund the fight against gender-based violence, do it. Amanda! I'm done. Fatima, I'm done. Amanda, comrades, I think it's very important, there's something that is a big South African myth when it comes to gender-based violence, that it affects certain people from certain class groups, from certain racial groups. And yes, we can't run away from prevalence in certain groups over others. But in some
way, shape, and form, we are all affected by gender-based violence. I'm saying to you, South Africa, that actions rather speak louder than words. That tweets speak louder than words. That tweets rather do not speak louder. And so when we are here convening outside JSE, there are stories of solidarity, messages of solidarity from various individuals and organizations. Those who would like to pledge some form of solidarity with the ongoing struggle against gender-based violence and femicide. I would like to call on our next speaker, Google. And before I do, I think it's very important, comrades, just because we are in public doesn't mean we don't have house rules. It's very important to know that standing here, people are wearing their vulnerabilities for you. People are sharing stories with you that they might have not shared with their own families. And for that, I ask that we approach and we receive their stories with a level of sensitivity and empathy. So before I call on Google, I want us all to stretch forth our right hand. I want us all to stretch forth our right hand and say, stop gender-based violence.
Stop gender-based violence.
Stop gender-based violence.
Stop gender-based violence.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us.
Stop raping us.
Stop raping us.
Stop raping us.
Stop raping us.
Stop molesting us.
Stop molesting us.
Stop molesting us.
Stop molesting us.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us.
Stop killing us.
Stop policing us.
Stop policing us.
Stop policing us.
Stop policing us.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Can we give a round of applause for our next speaker, Google?
Amandla! 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 Stop gender-based violence! Stop! My name is Kuku Ncube. Most of you know me, the famous Kuku Ncube. Yes. Most of you know me as the Union Buildings lady. Some of you even call me the nude protester. But I do have a problem with that because I was not naked, eh? Okay. Now, I want to dedicate these testicles to the women in the higher learning institutions who cannot get promoted or be offered jobs without being raped or sexually harassed. Yes. I want to dedicate these testicles to all the students in the higher learning institutions who cannot get a pass mark or even a distinction without being sexually harassed or raped. I want to dedicate these testicles to all the women in the higher learning institutions who are dying in silence because they fear being exposed or being subjected to what Kuku Ncube was subjected to. I dedicate these testicles to the women in the higher learning institutions who have to live with bleeding hearts day in and day out because they have to put food on the tables of their children. I want to call upon the vice chancellors of all the higher learning institutions to stop further victimizing the victims. I want to say to them, woe unto you, vice chancellors. We are coming for you as the gender activists.
Yes,
we have a right to be heard, and you will listen to us. You will not protect our perpetrators at our expense. We are naked women while we are dressed on the streets. We are bleeding. You are feathering that pain. I want to say to the Vice Chancellor, specifically mentioning my case of UNISA, I challenge you, Professor Mandla Makanya, to give me an opportunity to question your witnesses and question the evidence that you gathered against me, which is false. I challenge you to afford me that opportunity. I want to call upon the President, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa. Mr. President, start taking us serious. Stop making our pains a campaigning a recipe. We are hurt, we are human beings, we are women, we are your girl children. We want you to hear us, Mr. President. What was your way of investigating if you are not going to do the right thing in my case? You investigated, you found I never resigned at UNISA, I've got your emails, but you are not acting. Why did you waste state resources not acting? I thank you.
Yes.
Yo